If you've ever quoted a corporate client and immediately thought, should I have charged more for this? This is the video for you. I'm going to break down exactly how to price corporate photography work and why most photographers are dramatically undercharging these clients without even knowing it. By the end of this video, you'll have a simple framework to walk you through any corporate conversations with confidence. Now, here's the thing you have to understand. Corporate clients don't think about photography the way that weddings or portrait clients do. They have budgets, line items, approval processes, and to them, you're a vendor. And a lot of times that's a good thing. When they hire you as a business expense, it means that the money's already allocated somewhere and it's not your job to convince them that photography has value. They already know that. Your job is to fit into that budget that they've already set aside. They already have it planned. They're already going to spend the money. So your job is to say, why should they spend that with you? So rule number one, stop anchoring your prices to what you charge a family on a Saturday. Corporate pricing lives in a completely different world. They're not thinking about the 2-hour photo shoot on a Saturday. They're thinking about days long work and end product solutions. So how do you actually set the number? There are 4 things I look at every time. Number 1 is usage. Where are these images going? Is it an internal newsletter or a national campaign? These are not the same job. The more places these images live, the more they're worth. Number 2, deliverables. How many final images? Are they edited? Do I have to go in and retouch? Is there a turnaround in 24 hours? Faster and more polished costs more money. Always. Number 3, your time on site. A half day and a full day are 2 completely different quotes. Factor in travel, setup time, breakdown time. You're not just charging them for the time that you're going to be shooting. And number 4, the client size. A local startup and a Fortune 500 company are not in the same conversation, not in the same tax bracket or budget. You're expected to price relative to who you're working with. So keep those things in mind. That's usage, deliverables, time, and client size. These give you the inputs, and from there you should be able to add them up honestly to get a proper quote. Now, let's talk real numbers, because vague advice doesn't really pay the rent, does it? I don't want to just give you something and then you're going to go home and be like, I didn't learn anything from this video. So for corporate headshots, most markets will support $150 to $300 per person for a polished on-location session. That's just for one person to do a headshot session with you. If you're doing volume, let's say 20 or more employees in a day, you can easily package that to be anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 and up, depending on how big the corporate client is. Conference and event coverage, that typically runs you about $1,500 to $3,500 based on a full day or a half a day, depending on your market and your experience. If you're needing a second shooter, they want a same day turnaround time, if they want a headshot session or a recap reel, all of those things cost extra. For commercial work, product photography, campaigns, anything that's going to be on a billboard and an ad, anything that's heavily licensed, those start at $2,000 and it goes up quick. So you have to consider all of those things, your inputs and your outputs. Now, here's what I want to tell you. These are not the ceiling. These are the floor. Someone who's professional, reliable, and delivers quality work, they're going to charge more. Corporate clients have paid these numbers for years, and they will continue to pay them again. So your conversation has to be centered around why should they pay you? How do you add value? And that's where you get your price. Now, knowing your numbers is half the battle. The other half is saying them out loud without apology. You got to be unapologetic. It's about confidence. When a corporate client asks what you charge, resist the urge to immediately respond with something low and competitive. Instead, ask them 2 questions. This is what separates the professionals from the novice freelancer. What's the scope of the project? And if you don't mind, do you have a budget range in mind? 90% of the time, they're going to say no. That second question is extremely powerful. A lot of corporate clients will tell you their budget, and it's often a lot higher than what you probably would have cold quoted them. Once you get that scope, respond to them with the range. So if they give you a no and they say, I don't know the budget, say, for a project like this, I would typically charge anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. I can put something together in a custom quote once I have more details. This positions you as a professional, and it keeps you from looking desperate. And it opens the door for a real conversation instead of one-way negotiations where you're only making up for concessions. So keep that in mind as you're having that budget conversation. Now, before I wrap, let me give you 3 mistakes I see photographers make the most when it comes to corporate pricing. Mistake number 1, charging by the image. I'll give you 50 edited images for $500. Stop. Don't do that. Charge for your time and your expertise, not the photo count. Corporate clients don't buy photos, they buy outcome. They're looking for a solution. Mistake number 2, not including the usage in your quote. If a company is putting their image on a billboard or on a social media ad, that image is working for them every day and you should be compensated. Mistake number 3, discounting before you even hear the pushback. You quote $2,000 and they pause and you immediately say something like, well, I can do it for $1,500. Don't do that. Silence is not rejection. Let the number breathe. Silence is golden. It actually works in your favor. A lot of times, if you sit in silence and let them think about it, they may come back with a better offer or a better opportunity. So give them a minute. Now, here's your action item. Before your next inquiry comes in, write down your day rate and your half day rate and your minimum for any corporate job and commit to it. You don't need any fancy pricing. You don't have to have any, just stop doing too much. You need the numbers you believe in so that when they ask, you can speak with confidence. Confidence carries you a long way in the corporate industry. Now, if this was helpful, drop a comment with the type of corporate work you're targeting, headshots, events, or commercial, and I want to know where you're at. How's it going? And then if you're serious about breaking into this market, I've got a lot more coming on exactly how to find and land these clients. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and I will see you guys in the next one. Oh, as always, brand responsibly, grow with us. This is Portrait to Corporate, where we do all things well. Until next time, I'll see y'all.